Yo, you're watching shurkou, and today we are going to be taking a look at the brand new patch notes. Wild Rift patch 2.3 should be hitting the live servers today, and of course with it we're gonna get lots of exciting balance changes, we're gonna get new champions, and we are gonna get that little rune rework as well. Now let's get right into it, let's go through the patch notes together as always, and I will be giving you my breakdown, my analysis, and my predictions for the meta of this patch. Now, of course, as always, we will start it off with the new champions. Now, Riven and Irelia are coming out first. It does not say anything about Senna and Lucian yet. I believe they will come at a later date, but Irelia and Riven, for me personally, especially Irelia, is super exciting. So let's start off with her, okay? As always, I will give you a little bit of a breakdown of the most important abilities of these champions. So again, let's start with Irelia here, okay? So she's gonna be mainly a Baron laner and a mid laner in my opinion as well. You can look at her to something similar like Yasuo, honestly, because she has a very similar ability to his little dash. Not really, you know, it has much more range, and the way it resets is by getting the killing blow onto a minion or onto an enemy champion, or with a little bit of a mark mechanic that she can spread marks with her ultimate and with her third ability onto the enemies, and then she can reset that dash. So basically what you're gonna do as an Irelia, again similar to Yasuo, you're gonna be dashing around on the battlefield, so much mobility. She has a lot of lifesteal as well inbuilt. She has a little bit of a bonus stacking damage going on with her passive as well on hit. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. She's gonna be super difficult to play, and yeah, gonna be amazing. Gonna be one of these annoying champions to face, but super fun to play. And I feel like she's gonna be a little bit less annoying than something like a Yasuo, so don't be too worried if you're maybe a marksman main, or if you're a support main and you're not really looking forward to another melee fighter like that. Again, she doesn't have a wind wall, okay? So yeah, she's coming out on the 3rd of June along with Riven as well, okay? So let's get into the Riven breakdown. Riven, very similarly in terms of the fighter slash assassin class, she's also going to be one of those champions. She's going to be mainly seen in the Baron lane. She can go mid lane again. She can even go jungle. I feel like in Wild Rift, since the jungle is pretty squishy, this could be pretty viable to play, honestly, Riven in the jungle. By the way, Irelia can jungle as well, but again, it is not recommended. Mostly what you will see in solo queue, both of these champions will be sitting in that Baron lane. So Baron laners, rejoice, you're getting 2 new amazing champions. Again, Riven, also lots of mobility. Her most iconic part probably is her ultimate. She has that broken blade action going on, and when she pops her ultimate, she actually heals her blade. Okay, so she has a huge sword then. She deals bonus damage with every attack, and she enables the finishing move, which will it's a huge cone AoE in front of her that she slashes with her blade and shoots out a green shockwave into the enemy's face, and it hits everyone in the AoE. Again, it's a pretty large cone, so it's very yeah, you will hit lots of people with that in a team fight. And the way it works is, think of it similar to an Akali ultimate, where the lower the enemy is, the more damage it will deal. So you want to pop that ult, you want to jump in with all your dashing abilities. She has a little bit of an AoE stun around her as well. Don't worry, it's a very, very brief AoE stun, okay? Don't worry. And yeah, then you pretty much finish them off afterwards with the ultimate. This champion especially is, I think, gonna be the fan favorite out of almost all the champions in the game right now. I think she will be Yasuo tier in terms of how many fans and how many mains and one-trick ponies she will gather around her, because she has so many animation cancels, and even if they leave out half of the animation cancels compared to the PC version, she will still have a huge skill cap. She will still have lots of cool flash combos. So yeah, definitely two very exciting champion releases, and yeah, looking forward to both. But again, I really am both. Again, there will be an event as well, similar to Kha'Zix and Rengar on this new patch, where you choose which of these, where you choose one of them, okay? So please let me know in the comments below which one you're gonna choose, because I really want to know. I picked Kha'Zix last time on EU server. Kha'Zix lost 49 to 51% to Rengar, so this time I want to pick Irelia, but I want to win. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I want to pick the majority, okay? And again, you will be able to unlock one of them for free as well, so this should be very nice. Moving on, new features. There's gonna be a new close friends feature as well on this new patch. Now, I already went into this in the little dev diary that I made. Not dev diary, I reacted to the dev diary. Riot made it and I just yoinked their content. You can check it out there. It was uploaded on my channel a couple of days ago. And basically, it's just gonna be, they have a little video showing it. Actually, I'll put my dev diary video in the top right corner with the timestamp to that part where it is about this friendship system. They showed a little bit in a video how the mechanics work and everything. Basically, you can add a close friend where preferably your friend that you duel with a lot, and then you can level up that friendship level, and I think unlock different rewards as well. But we will have to see how this will pan out. And again, this is the big thing, if you play with your friend in a casual game, in a PvP round, so not ranked, you will have shared champion pools. So let's say you want to try out Aurelion Sol, your friend has Aurelion Sol, you want to try him out before you buy him, he's not on the free champion rotation right now. Hey, easy peasy, you pair up with your friend, you can pick him because he owns him. Amazing, honestly amazing. There will be friend subscriptions as well. Again, all of that will be in the video top right in the card right now. Then we will have ARAM returning. Will be available from June to July. So we will get another round of testing on ARAM. I believe in the balance changes, there's some ARAM changes again as well to rebalance the mode a little bit to make it more fun. So that is always nice to see. For the ARAM fans, rejoice. Then we have, this is very nice for the ranked players. So I'm looking forward to this. In Ranked Champion Select, players can switch their draft order to better accommodate comfort picks and counter picking. So let's say your first pick, you're the jungler, your last pick is the mid laner, and he really wants to play Katarina. And Katarina is really OP, we all know that. So probably the enemies will pick it, right? It's a very high chance before your teammate gets to pick it. So now you will be able to swap places with them, because maybe you don't own Katarina, you don't have Katarina, so you can't pick it for him. But again, you can switch places with him, just like you would switch champions after the champ select, before the game actually starts. So that is very cool. Some nice little quality of life. Then more quality of life, network tools. You will be able to test your ping in-game before you actually enter a match. And it has some pretty in-depth stuff here, so that is pretty nice. They will also add some more quality of life in terms of internet performance. They will add a feature where it will combine the 4G and Wi-Fi networks. Basically, if you are on 4G and you're lagging, or your Wi-Fi isn't that good, and if you only use that, you're lagging as well. If you can use both at the same time, you know, they can help each other out. You know, they can, when one is failing, the other one can step in. So they added that feature. So that is always very nice. Lots of people should have ping improvements from that. And yeah, then we also have rune changes, okay? So I think the rune changes will come still, but if you want an in-depth rundown on the rune changes, I already made that a couple of days ago, because they already showed them on their website. They showed all the changes in depth, okay? So I already went over them. Again, this will be in the top right corner of this video in a little card, once again, if you want to check that out. But we will briefly go over it in this patch as well, I believe, because they are also listed with some specific numbers as well, which they didn't show before in the upcoming balance changes. So we also have new skins. They put the wrong picture here, I believe. because I don't see any new skin here. But yeah, they put the wrong picture here. But we will have Order of the Lotus Irelia, Arcade Riven. Okay, so the 2 new champions are getting some nice skins. Then we will get Arcade Kai'Sa. Yeah, she's pretty thick, okay? She's pretty voluptuous right there. Hey, rejoice, guys. We Arcade Sona. Alrighty. And then also Battle Boss Ziggs. Okay, so that's also gonna be a sick one. But listen, I know we're all looking forward to the 2 Coomer skins. All skins will be released through the patch. Again, they don't tell us specific dates for each skin release, but through patch 2.3. Then accessories will get some new stuff here. I assume these blades for Irelia and this big broken blade for Riven will be unlockable if you win the event, which again, I lost last time. Please let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure to subscribe, ring the notification bell, because I do this for every patch and you don't want to miss it. Okay? Thank you very much. Then we'll get some baubles like the joystick. You know, what she usually says is that the joystick is a little bit too big. Anyway, we'll get some snack, and we'll get a cute little Poro thing. That's pretty cute. I think that's a bauble. That's pretty cute. We'll get a recall as well. Toppling Tufts, which is a cute little Poro recall. And this is super cool. 2 new icons as well. I personally like this one because I like to make women cry. Anyway, moving on. Events, guys. Broken Blades. Again, as I said, you'll be able to unlock one of the 2 new champions for free, Riven or Irelia. I believe it will be just like the Rengar and Kha'Zix event. You won't actually get the champion that you pick at the start of the event, but you will just get a chest after a couple days where you can take one of the champions, no matter which one you picked. So again, guys, just pick Irelia. If you're EU, pick Irelia, man. Please, let's win. Let's win for Irelia, man. Come on, guys. Why did people pick the kitty cat instead of the bug, man? Anyway, guys, we finally arrived where we all always want to arrive. The most exciting stuff of the new patch, for me at least, is always the champion changes, the balance changes. And as you can see, good old Akali is looking at us finally now. I'm a huge Akali fan, as you guys know, but I'm not a soy boy. I like to play her, but I also would like her to get nerfed because she's broken. She's way too strong. So let's check it out. She is getting quite a hefty nerf, okay? And honestly, I think it's gonna be very good. I don't think she's gonna be that oppressive anymore. So let's check it out. Now, there was that little leak, right? That picture that was leaked where it says Akali is getting adjusted. And a lot of people were like, what? Why would you adjust Akali? Just nerf her. Well, don't worry. This is a straight up nerf, okay? The only adjustment is, you'll see. We'll get to it. First of all, base stats. Base HP, 650 to 570, and HP per level going up a little bit in exchange. So the total HP at maximum level is actually going to be 60 more than before, but early game you will have a whopping 80 health less. This of course matters much more than the late game 60 bonus health, so don't worry, this is a fat nerf. You'll be able to chunk her out in the early game much better. She will lose Baron lane matchups a lot more than she does now, because currently she only really loses to Fiora. Then she's also getting hit with the good old trusty 5 armor nerf that Riot really loves for some reason. And honestly, for her, it's going to be very good because she's really strong in lane. And stuff like that, health, base health and armor reduction is exactly what destroys her in the lane. So that's really good. Good start already. Then we also have the 5-point strike being nerfed, which is her first ability. Energy cost is going up at early levels from 95 to 130, okay? So that is insane. Really good though. Why can you Q 3 times before you run out? Because you get some back if you auto attack the enemy with the passive. So you can Q 3 times level 1, and everyone loses 80% of their health bar. Now granted, they are absolutely brain damaged if they let you auto attack them 3 times. But hey, some people do it and then they're almost dead. It is ridiculous, okay? So this is a very good nerf, and I honestly like this because late game it's a buff. Instead of 80 magic energy cost, it will have only 70 energy cost. So late game, she's gonna be able to use a couple more during team fights. That is very nice. In my opinion though, or I can ask you Akali mains as well, because I know there's lots of Akali mains. She's a beautiful champion. Do you ever run out of energy late game? You either die quickly or you just kill everyone, right? So I don't think that will be too much of a difference, but the early game, definitely a very good nerf. Once again, very well done. I personally would have liked if they nerfed the passive damage a little bit in the early game, but they didn't do that. It's okay though, they compensated with this. Now here's the adjustment part. This is the buff that Akali is getting, and because of that, they can write it is adjusted. There's also some other buffs, but again, Twilight Shroud restores 80 energy. That's always the same, right? But now it increases total energy by 80 when Shroud is active. Now what does that do? The only change that this causes is, let's say if you're at 100 energy and you use the Shroud, you will be at 180, right? And I believe the maximum energy is 200 for Akali. So let's say you use the Shroud at 200 energy. What happens then? Well, you are at 200 energy before the patch, right? Because you cannot go past the 200, right? So the bonus 80 is gone. So that's what they're basically doing. If you get caught as an Akali, usually you jump in, you Q, and then you Shroud anyway. So you Shroud at around half energy, and then this doesn't do anything. This change won't do anything. But if you get caught, or if you just Shroud right away in the team fight, then this will benefit you, and you will be sitting there with 280 energy, which is honestly pretty nice. Nice little quality of life change. Again, nothing too big though, so don't worry. Akali in total is definitely getting a fat nerf. Then she's also losing a lot of damage on her third ability, on her Shuriken flip. So far, pretty much everything is getting nerfed. Stats and all abilities. Ridiculous. Shuriken base damage is going down by 10 at level 1 and up to from 160 to 120. Okay, this is the Shuriken that she throws. So that's getting nerfed. The Shuriken AD ratio is also going down from 0.35 to 0.25, and the Shuriken AP ratio is also going down from 0.5 to 0.3. Okay, so that's a very nice nerf. However, now this is a little bit getting buffed in exchange. So I like this. Her second ability is getting a lot more damage here in total. Actually, it's going to be a damage increase, because as you can see, it's going from 160 to 220 at a maximum level, which is of course a 60 increase, whereas this was only a 40 decrease. Okay, so this ability is actually going to deal more damage now. And again, this is a 0.1 decrease, a 0.2 decrease, and this is going to be a 0.3 increase and a 0.15 increase. So in total, the total damage of her Shuriken flip is going to be more, but only if she actually jumps in. They basically want you to deal 0 damage if you just throw the Shuriken, but if you commit to the fight, then they want you to really, if you expose yourself to danger, if you jump into the enemy team, then they want you to deal a massive amount of damage. And again, that is very nice. That is good, right? Because again, the small little first part shouldn't deal a lot of damage, but whenever you jump in and you decide to take the fight, you decide to all in, it makes sense to deal more damage on that. So again, very nice change. A little bit of a, they could have probably just compensated this nerf here instead of over buffing it a little bit here, the second part of the damage, but we'll have to test it out. Once again, all these nerfs here, the first 2 are already pretty insane. And we also have a pretty good nerf on her ultimate, okay? Which of course dealt way too much damage. The first cost is not going to be physical damage, it's also going to be magic damage from now, so that is good. It's kind of good for Akali because she builds a lot of magic penetration, but it's also good for the enemies because now they won't have this stupid mixed damage on Akali anymore, where, you know, you're building magic resistance, but the first part of the ultimate still deals physical damage to you. Again, that didn't really deal a lot of damage anyway, so it won't matter too much, but still nice for clarity. Then new, the first cast AP ratio is now 0.3. It didn't have an AP ratio, so this is a little bit buffed. So the first cast will actually deal a decent amount of damage now, whereas before it dealt pretty much 0 damage. Now the second cast AP ratio is getting completely destroyed. Not completely destroyed, but definitely a seizable nerf. From 0.5 to 0.4. And then at max AP ratio 1.5 to 1.2, which is a lot. That is 30% of AP less damage. And of course the max AP ratio is whenever they are low health. Okay? So yeah, really nice changes. I think it will put Akali much more in line, especially this year. Will nerf her a lot in the Baron lane, which I always said, I think Akali mid lane is strong, but she's not a problem. She's really not a problem in the mid lane. There's a lot better mid lane champions. Galio, Diana, and Ziggs are all better than her, by far. So yeah, this is very, very good, but it won't nerf the mid lane too much, because if you're going up against a mage, you most of the time won't be using that too much to harass them in the early game. So again, very, very nice change. Very well done by Riot. We'll see if it's going to be enough. I still think Akali is going to be very strong, just not completely busted anymore. Moving on to Blitzcrank. He's getting a nice little buff, okay? The mana barrier, the cooldown of his passive is going down from 80 seconds to 50 seconds. So that's a huge change, okay? 30 seconds less on that passive. That is really, really good. He's going to be able to go much more often for these dangerous trades where he actually drops pretty low in the lane, but has that mana shield and just completely blows the enemies away with it. Then we also have the overdrive. The second ability, his little move speed thing, getting buffed from 15 seconds to 12 seconds cooldown. I think Blitzcrank isn't even that bad. I think he's just one of the harder champions to play in the support position. But if you can hit hooks very well, you're always going to be super useful. So this is a very nice quality of life changes for Blitzcrank. I do think this is something similar to what we usually see, where they buff a champion a little bit just to put them back on the radar. Now this isn't really a little bit. This is a pretty seizable buff. And I think it's going to make people try out Blitzcrank again and make them realize that, wow, this champion is actually pretty decent. So, very good change. I think we'll see more Blitzcrank once again, especially against champions like Lux, you know? If you can hook her, she's pretty much dead. It's a huge skill matchup because she can just dodge and then completely poke you, but hey, still very, very nice. Moving on to Camille. Now, Camille is getting a little bit of a change here, a little bit of a quality of life change. When I saw Camille, I was hoping for a nerf. I really think she deserves a nerf. Not the biggest nerf, but she definitely deserves a nerf. So no nerf, just quality of life improvements. If you tap her third ability, her little 3D maneuver gear, her hookshot, now detects terrain in front of Camille and fires towards it. So if you just auto aim, you just tap that ability, it will try to find terrain and then aim towards it. And the tap cast will not cast if there is no terrain in front of Camille, okay? So if there's no walls around you and if you misclick that ability, if you just tap it, then nothing will happen, okay? So very nice change there. We'll see how it plays out with the auto aim in movement direction, in joystick direction. That's how I play Camille. I always aim all the dashes with the left joystick and I just tap pretty much all of them. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out with that. I believe for that, not much should change, but we'll see. Moving on to Darius. He is getting a little bit of a nerf. I think it's pretty justified. You know, I think he's 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 a banger. Let's just say that he's a Chad. He's a very strong soul laner. He's a very strong jungler in my opinion as well, believe it or not. So I do think he can take some nerfs. So what are the nerfs going to be? His passive. Attack damage gained at full stacks. So at 5 Blood Rage stacks, you will get less attack damage, especially early game, and it will scale up to be exactly 1 attack damage more in late game, 226, instead of 225 at the maximum level. But early game, it's going to be 22 instead of 29. So that is a huge difference, okay? So that's a very nice nerf. Honestly, I think Darius is not that strong early game. He doesn't really feel that strong early game. But early game, you're not really going to get to 5 stacks, guys. Right? As a Darius in higher elos, the enemy isn't going to let you get to 5 stacks. They know better. They know they don't want to fight you at 5 stacks. So this is probably more of a lower elo nerf. Where some people just, you know, if you're new to the game, you don't know what Darius does. You just try to auto-attack him. He gets these 5 stacks and suddenly you're going to get completely destroyed. You're going to die probably level 1. So yeah, pretty good change here. Honestly, it's not going to change him too much for higher elos. Maybe some champions like Camille will be really able to abuse him in the Baron lane right now. Because if you play Camille, if you take the champion rune, which is also getting nerfed this patch by the way a little bit. But yeah, you can really blow him out early game if you just go for the hook shot and you just dash into his face and you get the bonus attack speed and you just trade with your passive shield. So maybe she'll be able to completely abuse him. But other than that, I don't think it is going to change too much because again, Darius likes to poke with his first ability in the early game and not go for too much of a all-in. Now, keep in mind for jungle Darius, this pretty much doesn't change anything. It's going to change him a little bit at the skirmish at level 3, at level 4, level 5 here. Definitely a lot less level 5 as well for the dragon fight. Yeah, it's definitely going to change him. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Honestly, it's pretty decent though. I don't think he will be too weak. I think he's still going to be a very formidable champion to play. So don't worry if you main Darius. Moving on to Diana. Finally, more than an attack speed nerf on Diana. She really needed a fat one. And this is not the fattest one. I think she's still going to be incredibly strong. Okay? But she's not going to feel cheated, man. Because right now she feels like a cheat. She literally feels like you're hacking the game. Force and CD. Okay? That's what she feels like. So hopefully this will bring her more in line. Health going down from 610 to 570 for level 1, so that is very nice. Moonsilver Blade, the passive AP ratio, that is very big because she really chucks those passives out a lot with that bonus attack speed from her passive as well. So that is going down from 0.6 to 0.5. Not the biggest nerf, I know. Could have been a little bit more, it's okay, it's okay. Then the ult, Moonfall, that is good because that is the big AoE that just shreds half your team to 30% health late game. So minimum base damage is going down by 25 per rank in the ultimate, and the maximum base damage, which is of course when it's maximum charge, is going down by 50 per rank of the ultimate. So that is pretty good. No AP ratio nerfs. Again, I think she's still going to be insane. I think her shield is still going to be insane. She's still going to be super tanky because of it. And still going to feel pretty cheated. However, good step into the right direction. Again, like guys, they do these small nerfs. But even for something like Katarina, it was a pretty small nerf. But it still feels a lot more manageable all of a sudden. So I think Diana will also feel a lot more manageable. And now keep in mind, put that in context with the Akali nerf. That's huge, bruv, right? So yeah, gonna be fun though. Something I need to say to the Akali nerf as well though. She is gaining a lot more energy consumption on her first ability, but the damage isn't going down on her passive and on her first ability. So if you get hit 2 times, which she can still do 2 times at level 1 with the Q auto attack, it's still gonna deal a lot of damage. So I don't think, I think they're again nerfing these champions a little bit, but it's gonna make them a lot more manageable, just like they did for Katarina, for something like Galio as well. And yeah, moving on to Fizz here. Fizz is getting a nice little buff. His passive damage over time now deals 200% damage to neutral monsters. They want my boy to jungle, I believe, okay? This, the title Trickster doesn't want to be anchored to just one swim lane. So we're giving him a small buff to make him better suited for the jungle to increase his role flexibility. I hope this is gonna work. I think Fizz jungle is something, it's one of the most fun things in League of Legends. Whenever there is a meta where it works on PC, so I hope it's gonna make it work here. Keep in mind though, Fizz jungle, if it works and if it actually works well, it's gonna be the most broken piece of garbage to play against, because he has a terrible laning phase, but he's really strong late game, right? So Riot is very dangerous, threading very dangerous waters here. If they allow him to scale up to the late game in a safe jungle position where he can just farm safely, then we'll have a big issue, because again, he's insanely strong late game. He has crazy ganks with all that mobility and that long range ultimate. Guys, this might become, it probably won't be insane, but it will be super annoying to play against, because that ultimate just comes out of a bush or past the wall, bam, and just blows you out, man. It's, Riot's really dangerous here. Then the third ability is also getting buffed. The mana cost is going down by 10 per rank, so that's already very nice. He has some mana issues. Remember, they buffed his base mana regen, I believe, as well, 1 patch ago. The cooldown is going down as well on that ability, only 0.5 per rank, so that's not going to be too big of a deal. But then you realize that the way Fizz is played the most effectively is ability haste boots, lots of ability haste in his kit, in his build, and then what you do is you go for that stasis boot enchant, the Sonias, and you can basically jump onto this playful trickster. You're invulnerable, you land, you Q, you Zonias, invulnerable again, and then you can almost jump playful trickster again for another invulnerability. It's I hope it's not gonna make him completely. I don't think it will though. I don't think it will. Ooh, the base damage is going up as well by 15 at level 1, and then it scales down to be the same at maximum level. So that's gonna make his early game in the lane a lot better. 15 is pretty decent for level 1, level 2, level 3. So you're gonna be able to trade a lot better. And again, for the jungle clear, it's gonna make him annihilate these that raptor camp, level 1, level 2, okay? Guys, I hope it's not gonna make Fizz completely toxic, but I'm glad about it. I'm gonna try him, definitely. Again, make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss the incoming Fizz jungle video. It should be a lot of fun. Moving on to Garen. Now, Garen needs the fattest nerf in Wild Rift history. I'm not even kidding. This is a piece of garbage, man. He is literally like Katarina, like Fiora, like Diana. Like, he's so broken. He's so stupidly broken. But all these champions that I mentioned right now are very, very difficult to play. This guy is completely brain dead. You can play him with the worst case of brain damage and you will still go 20-0. It's such a dumb champion. And he's getting a little bit of a slap on the wrist. This nerf is not going to be enough. I think we will still see lots of Garen by the soy boys who don't have hands apparently, and they can't play hard champions, okay? So they play this guy. 135 to 125 health growth, so health per level is basically that, is going down. I don't know why they didn't write the total health here, they usually do that, but hey, you're getting 10 less health per level. Yeah, it is something, man. Maximum level is 15, so 140 health less, because level 1, you don't get the health growth. So 140 health less. Come on, man. Armor growth is also going down by 0.6. So again, 60. What is that going to be? What is it going to be like? 9 armor less. I mean, it's not bad, right? Am I being correct here? I think I am. Yeah, a little bit less. 8.4 armor less at maximum rank. Again, it's not that bad, but he's still gonna be insanely tanky because his second ability needs to get nerfed. The damage reduction on it is ridiculous. He can never die. He's one of the tankiest units, probably right after Alistar. He's the tankiest unit in the game, and you have stuff like Mundo running around, so that is just pretty dumb. Then you have Demacian Justice getting nerfed as well, but come on, bro, it's the ultimate is getting nerfed by 15 seconds at level 1. Sure, cool, but late game it's still only going to be 5-second reduction or increase in cooldown. So I don't know, man. This champion is just cracked out. You need to nerf the ultimate damage. You need to maybe nerf either that or nerf the silence duration on his first ability. You should probably nerf the silence duration and the ultimate damage, but buff his third ability, his spin. I feel like it doesn't deal enough damage, in my opinion. That should be the main focus, right? He's a Beyblade. For God's sake, he's a Beyblade, man. He should feel like that. So, yeah. Anyway, Garen's still going to be very strong. All you soy boys who are maining Garen, I hate you from the bottom of my heart. I hate you. You're an absolute soy boy. But you can still abuse him for one more patch, okay? It is what it is. I know. Irelia and Riven are going to come out. Oh, 2 super cool new champions, man. Also in the Baron lane that you're maining with Garen, right? And you're not going to play them a single game because you just want to play this brain-damaged character. Moving on to Gragas. My man Gragas. I'm a big abuser of the thick boy, of the voluptuous boy in the jungle. I love him. I love him in the jungle. And they are gonna nerf it. Feels bad, man, but I do think he deserves it. This is also gonna nerf his Baron lane laning, and it's also gonna mainly nerf his tanky playstyle, which is really, really nice. Second ability, base damage reduction, is going down by 2% per rank. So it's still gonna be 17% damage reduction on your second ability, base damage reduction. So that is very, very nice. You're still going to be very tanky, but it's not going to be ridiculous 19% anymore. Then you have target's maximum health damage. So the maximum HP damage on the enemy target is going down from 8% to 7%. And why did I say that they're nerfing the tanky playstyle? Well, of course, the tanky Gragas benefits from this damage reduction the most, and also he stays in the team fight longer than a full AP variant of Gragas, so he's gonna get a lot more auto attacks in with that second ability. So yeah, what can I say, man? I love this champ, but it's very deserved. Okay, I think he's still gonna be pretty decent in the jungle. Don't worry about it. He's still gonna be very strong in the Baron lane. He's still gonna be strong. The mid lane is not getting nerfed at all, almost, because mid lane you go full AP usually. And you can also play in Baron lane. You can play him everywhere full AP if you're doing that. Still gonna be very good. This is also hitting Gragas support, which, again, I don't think Gragas support was a problem. But when you have a champion that can fill 4 roles extremely well, then you have a huge problem in esports, because you can always just first pick that champion and, oh, they countered Baron lane Gragas. Put him in the support position. Oh, they countered support Gragas and Baron lane Gragas. They wasted 2 picks to counter him in 2 different positions. What a bunch of idiots. We'll just put him in the jungle. So it's really broken, okay? Stuff like that is always broken. So good change. Moving on to Kennen. He's finally getting a small buff again. He received a pretty big, like a huge nerf a couple months ago when he was completely broken. Very well deserved. But it ended up over-nerfing him, especially with the new champions releasing. He deserves some small buffs. That's exactly what he's getting. his Thundering Shuriken, his first ability, is gonna deal 10 more base damage at each rank, so that is very nice. In my opinion, you max that ability now, and in my opinion, you play mid lane, because top lane, Baron lane, they nerfed him too hard. His movement speed is nerfed, his attack damage is nerfed, his base attack damage, which means that he can't poke with his auto attack as well anymore in the Baron lane, and that's what made him strong, where he can always just bully out these melee Baron laners. So in the mid lane, you just max the Q, and you try to poke the enemy mage from range, and for that, it is still pretty good. That playstyle didn't really get nerfed, so I think this is still what you're gonna do now, and that's getting a little bit of a buff. So that's very nice. Then you have the second ability, Electrical Surge, also getting buffed. 3 seconds less cooldown, level 1. And considering you max this ability last, this is pretty good, because again, you will have 3 seconds less cooldown for the most part of the game. Max rank, it's still going to be 6 seconds, but once again, late game Kennen is still an absolute powerhouse and doesn't really need any buffs, so that's good. Very good change. So far, I didn't complain about anything, right? I mean, yeah, Diana could get nerfed a little bit more. Katarina could get nerfed again. In my opinion, Galio should get nerfed again. Kai'Sa should get nerfed again, for sure. Okay, Kai'Sa is a big one. Kai'Sa should get nerfed again. But other than that, they're smurfing lately. They're doing some nice updates. Then Kha'Zix also getting a buff. And this is, I completely agree. They're smurfing. I mean, honestly, this is so obvious. This shouldn't have even been in the game. The isolation radius for Kha'Zix is so big. It's so huge. That's what she said. She always says it's so huge. Okay, sorry. It's way too big. It's just ridiculous. It's dumb. Okay, you can never isolate anyone. And if you don't Q an isolated target, it almost deals 0 damage. Dumb. So they're buffing that. Isolation radius is going down from 400 to 300. Huge, okay? Because again, if you nerf the radius of a circle, okay, you're exponentially decreasing the area of said circle. So it's a team fight. 5 champions are around you in this area. You make that area smaller, okay? Now maybe these 5 champions won't be in that area anymore. Quick maths, quick geometry. School is important, guys. Anyway, as I said, this is really, really good. Other than that, Kha'Zix has a decent first jungle clear. He has a very good jungle clear after he evolves his first ability. He has very good damage on isolated targets, possibly even a little bit broken damage on isolated targets. But again, that should be, because that's the counterplay. But just don't be isolated, forehead. And yeah, so I don't think Kha'Zix, this is going to be enough. I think Kha'Zix will be very, very playable now in solo queue. And again, I know a lot of people always say, Kha'Zix was already good. No, man, Timmy, you're dumb, bro. You're brain damaged. You're sitting there alone. The support is next to you. You have to walk to them. And suddenly he deals 0 damage. Trust me. You're just bad. Please, stop. Guys, stop. Listen, new rule. If you are silver or gold, something like that, only post algorithmic comments. Okay? Okay? Promise? Thank you. Anyway, yeah, very good buff. Amazing. Couldn't have done it better. Very well done. I think this is going to make Kha'Zix pretty viable. Very viable even. Maybe even very strong. We'll have to test it out. Moving on to Pantheon. He's also getting a little bit of a buff. We are bringing Pantheon's Grand Starfall Ultimate to be more similar to League PC as a way to help him out and give the Unbreakable Spear more options to itemize pure AD without having to invest into AD penetration. Now, cool, right? Okay, let's check it out. Let's check it out, guys. Ult, Grand Starfall, new. Armor penetration 10, 15, 20%. What does that mean? Is this a passive of the ultimate? Are you gonna get 10, 15, 20 armor penetration as a passive? Are you gonna get it when you land for a couple seconds? Since they didn't say anything else, I think it just gives you armor penetration as a passive, but we'll have to see. Now, why did I say cool with a very discouraging tone there? Well, the thing is, there is no pure AD in this game. There is none. There's only Bloodthirster and Infinity Edge. Everything else has armor penetration attached to it. So you will still be building Youmuu's. You will still be building Black Cleaver most likely, because it just scales so well with his second ability. Also gives him a lot of ability haste. And it's also getting buffed. Spoiler here, okay? Black Cleaver is getting a nice buff. So you're still gonna go for these items. So it still helps him. It still helps him because it's gonna deal even more damage now. It's gonna bring the enemy's armor to even lower amounts now. And it's also gonna help a lot against tanks. But you really should introduce some more itemization Riot Games, okay? If there's something that I can complain about the balance of League of Legends Wild Rift still, then it is definitely one of the big things is a little bit of a lack of itemization in a lot of different positions. Because, for example, on Kha'Zix, you kinda go for Manamune. You know, Manamune is a good item, which it shouldn't be, but there's just nothing else, you know? I think Manamune Pantheon will be very sick, so that's gonna be fun, but yeah. They're not really champions that build Manamune on PC, right? We just don't have a lot of these items. But again, hey, Pantheon will take it. It is better than nothing. Moving on to Rakan, okay? Rakan is struggling to perform to his counterparts. Now, they're gonna buff Rakan. The reason why he's struggling to perform is because he is the hardest support champion in the game. Support mains are honestly terrible at the game. I'm gonna be honest. Most support mains in solo queue play Braum. He is probably the easiest champion in the game. And if you watch my live streams, whenever I play Marksman, I always complain about the Braum. When I get a Blitzcrank, bro, he's hitting these hooks from downtown, okay? He's insane. The actual Chad support players who practice their favorite champion, they're insane. The Namis, mate. The Namis are out of this world. They're the best players in the game. But the Rakan, the Brahms, the Alistairs, they're just abusing the broken support champions, and they're terrible at the game, okay? They're only getting carried to a higher rank by their role. True story, support is broken. But they can't play Rakan. They don't have hands, man. They can't play Rakan. So that is a big reason. I think Rakan is insanely strong. He's one of the better support champions in the game, in my opinion. If you want Engage, he is the best. He's your best. He's literally the best. Better than Leona even. He's the best. So we'll see if this overbuffs him. I definitely think in esports we will see a lot of Rakan. Because yeah, these buffs are honestly not too bad. Base magic resistance going up from 30 to 34, and magic resistance per level going from 0.8 to 1.2. So the total MR is gonna be roughly 10 more at level 15. And then you also have his passive getting a little bit of a buff. Now his passive is the little shield that he regens every couple seconds. Early game it's actually not getting buffed, but late game it's gonna have 3 seconds less. So most of the time you will have it twice in the team fight. Okay, now because again it's gonna be 3 seconds less pretty much. So if you go for a lot of AP on Rakan, which again I think you should, this passive is gonna be pretty juicy. And again, I think this is one of those buffs where they're like, yo, listen guys, Rakan is really strong. You guys are soy boys. You probably forgot he exists. Please try him out again and realize that he's really strong. Because again, there is no other champion with a go button like him. He can literally just gap close onto his teammate, gap close onto another teammate, flash, second ability into the enemy team, ult everyone, and it's the best engage in the game. It's just absolutely insane. So yeah, I do think if they want to buff Rakan, why don't you give him his combo from PC? On PC, he can jump with the second ability, and then he can flash to extend the knockup, okay? He can flash on top of the enemy, and it will knock them up. Here, he can't do that. Just give him that. It gives a lot of more playmaking possibilities. It makes him a lot cooler, raises the skill cap, and makes him a lot more flashy to watch in esports as well. Makes him a lot stronger as well, because that will be really, really strong. So that's just my little rant on Rakan. Moving on to Rammus. He's also getting a well-deserved buff. He's definitely underperforming in the jungle. Base stats are actually going down. So his armor late game is going to be 6 less. Okay? This is pretty... It's honestly okay because he is insanely tanky. It's okay to nerf that a little bit because they're giving him a lot more damage for the early game jungle clear, which he really needs. He really struggles with the first jungle clear. The spike shell base damage is going up from 5 to 8 level 1, and at maximum rank it's going actually down from 20 to 14. Okay, so they're nerfing the late game damage and the mid game damage, but they're buffing the early game. And I believe, honestly, I was already maxing the taunt first, because the taunt gives you a bunch of attack speed if you taunt a jungle minion with it. So I feel like you could just leave this at level 1, get these 8 cheeky damage here, which is pretty good, you know? And then at level 2, it's the same anyway. So yeah, that's crazy, man. This is crazy, but what are they exactly saying here? Rammus' early jungle clear was too slow for comfort, while his damage scaling was too high. What? Said no one ever. We're adjusting his base stats to gain momentum faster early on, while dulling his spikes a bit to make him less tanky in the late game. This way, we hope players don't start hating when they see him rolling. Guys, Riot is a bunch of boomers. This is a 60-year-old meme. Crazy, man. They have 200,000 years worth of balance experience and also 200,000-year-old memes. They probably found them in the pyramids, mate. They solved the Millennium Puzzle. Jesus Christ, man. That is insane. But yeah, I don't really agree with this. I think you could have just straight up buffed him. Straight up buff. I don't think he needs to be hit in any area of the game. But again, I don't really see him often. Maybe he's not too fun to play. Maybe it's honestly that early game jungle clear that makes him annoying to play. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this buff turns out for Rammus. Moving on to Renekton. He's receiving a very nice little buff. Now, I actually said that Renekton is actually pretty good because he deals very nice amounts of damage. He has a lot less healing than on PC, so he feels bad. You know, it doesn't feel cool because on PC he's all about that huge healing on his first ability. That is that wasn't nowhere near as strong. So they're buffing that. They're also buffing his base attack damage from 64 to 70. That's huge. That's gonna make him a very formidable foe, level 1, level 2, level 3. So watch out, don't get first blooded in the Baron lane. Because trust me, it will happen. Because hey, here's more stuff, okay? First ability is pretty much getting buffed all across the board. The on-hit heal is going up from 4 to 6 at level 1, and then 10 to 15. Now keep in mind, this is per unit. And the empowered first ability, I believe that healing is tripled. And again, per unit. So if you hit a lot of champions and also some minions, if there's a team fight in a minion wave, you will heal a lot. Especially if you have a Spirit Visage. So, very nice. That is a good change. Then we have the base damage is going up at early levels by 10. But at maximum, no, it's going up by each rank by 10 base damage, okay? So that's also going to be very nice. Again, I feel like this ability already dealt a lot because again, it gets empowered with that rage passive. So watch out for his damage. Bonus AD ratio, 80% to 90%. So again, 10% attack damage ratio buff there. Then we have enhanced base damage is going up. Okay, here they have the enhanced base damage. So that is pretty much going up by 15 per level. So I thought it's going to increase more since this increased by 10, but never mind. It's just going to be 15 per level. So that is very, very nice. And enhanced bonus AD ratio is going up by 15%. So very similar scalings here. 135 bonus AD ratio. I really hope we will see some Bloodthirster action on Renekton. I don't think so. I think he's still going to be built tanky with maybe two physical damage items, or maybe even 3. But honestly, 2 is probably the sweet spot. 1 or 2, something like that. Black Cleaver, Death Stance, you know, something like that. Sterox, and then full tank. That seemed to be one of the best ways, or again, in my opinion, and a lot of other the only high elo Renekton players that I've seen, always built the Blade of the Ruined King on him. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Again, keep in mind, Black Cleaver is getting buffed, which is one of his premier items. So I think Renekton is going to be pretty strong the next patch. Moving on to Twisted Fate, he's getting a nice little change. It's a small buff, but it's going to feel very nice in the lane. So his stack deck, his third ability, is going to have a new passive, which will give him passive attack speed by these values. Okay, 15, 20, 25, 30 per rank. So at maximum rank, he's going to have 30% increased attack speed passively, but this is also getting taken away. The same numbers are getting taken away from the active. So basically, you're going to have less attack speed when you activate the E, or less bonus attack speed, but in total, it will be exactly the same, but you will have passively more attack speed. And keep in mind, when you activate this ability, it's only for 3 auto attacks. So this 30% bonus attack speed is going to feel so good. And I think Nashor's Tooth might be very, very viable all of a sudden on Twisted Fate. A lot of Twisted Fates were already building it. The professional players weren't building it in esports because, again, it really isn't good. Maybe with this change, it will actually be good. But there were some high elo Twisted Fates that were building this. Again, I don't agree with it currently on this patch, but maybe with this change here, it will be good. We'll see. Moving on to Wukong. Wukong is getting a very cheeky little change, okay? So he's very locked into his jungle position. We don't see him at all in the Baron lane. And they want to change this. And I think they accomplished it. So first of all, I'm going to start with this change to give you the context. They're nerfing the dash by a lot. Level 1, 2 seconds more cooldown. And maximum level from 10 to 15 seconds. That is insane. So you don't get a lot by maxing this ability first now. So I don't think you want to max this ability first anymore. And again, this is really important for a jungle because you get the bonus attack speed. So you constantly want to use that ability in the jungle to clear the jungle camps faster. So that is a very big nerf for jungle Wukong. But then we have a huge buff for, well, it's going to help him in the jungle as well, but also for the 1v1 potential for the Baron lane and even for mid lane. You'll see mid lane Wukong probably going to be pretty decent. First ability, Golden Stuff. The cooldown is going up. Level 1 still the same, but the max rank going from 5 seconds to 6.5 seconds. Okay? However, new now heals for 10% bonus health. So they want the monkey to go tanky. And I'm telling you, tanky monkey is already really strong with Sunfire Aegis, Black Cleaver. Again, Black Cleaver is getting buffed. So Black Cleaver into Sunfire Aegis, into Sterox, into full tank. Gonna be an insane build. And you're gonna heal so much with the Spirit Visage as well. It's gonna be crazy. And then, look at this. Attacks from Wukong and his clone now reduce Golden Staff's cooldown by 0.5 seconds. So if you use your clone and you both attack twice, you're already gonna have less cooldown at maximum rank. And of course, you're both gonna attack pretty fast. You're gonna attack more than twice, right? So this is gonna be pretty crazy. I think this is gonna be amazing. It's gonna make Wukong much more fun to play. And yeah, gonna be really sick. Definitely look out for a Wukong tanky style gameplay on this channel. Moving on to Xin Zhao, you can see this patch is huge, bro. Ziggs is gonna be the last change for champions, but this patch is huge, guys. This video is gonna be so long. Xin Zhao is getting a little bit of a mini rework, okay? Let's get through it pretty fast. I think this is gonna make him a lot better, a lot more fun to play, and a lot harder to play, and honestly, I'm completely in love. Super looking forward to this. Base stats. Hold up. Base stats, AD going down from 64 to 58. However, don't worry, they're compensating a lot here. The passive base heal amount is going up from, actually it's going down as well, from 9.6 to 60 to 6.8 to 60. So early game, you're gonna heal less with that passive. But again, don't really worry too much about that. The 3 Talon Strike base damage is also going down. Again, don't worry too much about that because the changes that are coming are really cool. It's only going down by 5, but keep in mind, you have 3 of these per instance of the ability. So it's essentially, if you are able to attack the enemy 3 times, you're gonna deal 15 less damage with the full combo. So at each rank. So again, don't worry about it too much. Then Wind Becomes Lightning, the second ability. This is crazy. First of all, Sweep and Strike now hit slightly behind Xin Zhao as well. So you will be able to, you have a little bit more of a forgiving hitbox now, which is very nice. If the enemy manages to juke behind you or walk behind you a little bit, you still hit them. And now the strike range, so the second where he pokes you with the spear, the range is going up from 6 to 8. 8 is absolutely, like, that's huge, okay? That's 30% more range. That's very, very nice. So you will have a very formidable ranged ability now on Xin Zhao. Then the cooldown is getting a massive buff, going from 9 seconds to 7.5 at maximum rank. Early game still gonna be the same. Usually you max this ability first or second. You usually max the dash first, believe it or not, but you can max, you can probably max this first now because the cooldown is going down so much now. Then the second hit AD ratio is going down a little bit. So again, you can see the whole change is going to be less damage but more utility, which he really needs. So going down by 0.1, again, not too big of a deal. Now, Strike now challenges champions, monsters, and provides vision of the target for 3 seconds. So if you hit the poke, the long range spear thing of the second ability, it will actually put the passive onto them and provide the vision of them for 3 seconds. If multiple targets are hit, the furthest from Xin Zhao is the one that is challenged. This is very nice because if the tank is in front of you and the marksman behind the tank, you hit through both of them, you will challenge the marksman. And minion damage reduced by 50%. So it's going to be a lot weaker in the jungle for the jungle clear. I feel like they're trying to make him go into mid and baron lane. I'll definitely try him mid, guys. I think this might be very, very nice in the mid lane now with the increased range. Now, this is the big one, okay? This is huge. Audacious Charge, his third ability is Jump. Cast range on challenge targets from 5.5 to 8.5. That is bollocks, mate. That is absolutely insane. So basically, you will be able to challenge them with a nice little 8 range here on the second ability, and then you can just jump on them from huge range, 8.5. So they can even run away during that. You can still jump on them. Super nice quality of life change. And the AP ratio is going up from 60 to 80%. This is a little bit of a cheeky little AP Xin Zhao change. Then ult Crescent Guard also gonna be nerfed in terms of damage, going down from at maximum rank 275 to 225, but still at level 1 it's gonna be the same, and a 25 damage nerf at the middle level. So as you can see, again, more utility though, because what they're doing here is they're adding duration to it. 3 seconds to 5 seconds. So you'll have the circle around you for 5 seconds where no one outside of that circle can damage you, which is very, very nice. But then they're removing that the basic attacks and spells extend Crescent Guard's duration. But that is very good, because I don't think you could extend it past 5, maybe to 6, maybe maximum. But you couldn't do that oftentimes, because oftentimes they run away, you know, you're not going to be able to use abilities, you're not going to be able to auto attack them all the time. So this is definitely on average a huge buff. And they're also adding an AP ratio of 80%. I'm not sure what they're trying to accomplish, but it could be fun, because I think the passive heal has a huge AP ratio as well. This, I'm not sure. Anyway, I think Xin Zhao is gonna feel pretty nice with all of that quality of life, because keep in mind, a lot of his damage is still coming from his basic attacks, you know, with that Trinity, with that Blade of the Ruined King. So that is still gonna be intact. So yeah, gonna be super fun. I'm definitely gonna try him in the mid lane. Moving on to Ziggs. His base stats, passive damage to structures, is going down from 200% to 150%. That is, of course, his auto attack passive. So again, very, very good, because I think, yeah, Ziggs, we can all agree, he kills these towers too fast. Good change. All in all, very good changes. I'm gonna skip over these ARAM changes, because I don't really play ARAM, and yeah, you can try them yourself. If anyone is an ARAM enthusiast, leave a comment down below what you think about these changes or something. I don't know. And yeah, you guys can have a little bit of a discussion about ARAM. I don't really play it, so it is what it is. Moving on to gameplay changes. We have some huge item changes, big ones. This patch is gonna change a lot, and it's gonna be amazing, okay? Because all of these, every single one of these item changes is super good. So let's get right into it. Black Cleaver. Attack damage is gonna go down. It's gonna go up from 30 to 35. The armor reduction per stack is going up from 4 to 5%, but the maximum stacks are going down from 6 to 5. So in total, you will have 25% total armor reduction instead of 24%. But where the big buff lies is, of course, that it's not going to require 6 stacks anymore, only 5 now. So it's going to be exactly the same as Conqueror. So it's going to be really, really clean. You also have the attack damage buff by 5. I think this item is going to be crazy good now. I think champions like Darius will go only Black Cleaver now, no more Trinity, because that's already what we're seeing in esports sometimes, believe it or not. I think champions like Pantheon, champions like Wukong will benefit from this a lot. I think champions like Kha'Zix, who don't really want this, might go for it anyway, because it's just going to be so strong. Don't forget, it has 25 ability haste on it, which is a huge amount, absolutely insane. So yeah, this is going to feel very nice for a lot of champions. So that is going to be sick. Oh, also Graves. Yeah, true. Graves is going to love this. You might want to go first item Black Cleaver on Graves now, but I'll have to test it out. But that should be very, very nice. Okay, so moving on to Deadman's Plate. Getting nerfed. I'm sure we can all agree the item is a little bit too strong. The move speed that it provides is too strong. What they're not going to nerf, but instead they just nerf the stats. So they want to keep the cool Sonic feel to the tanks that can run super fast with it, you know. But they're going to nerf the health of it by 75. So from 300 to 225. Very good nerf. Moving on, honestly, very big. It might be a little bit too big, but I think it's still going to be really strong on a lot of champions because the move speed is just so clean. Moving on to Duskblade of Draktar. Attack damage going up by 5. You might think it's not enough or not a lot. Trust me, it's very nice. This item deserves this. A lot of people, rightly so, point out that the item is a little bit too weak, especially compared to Youmuu's. They pretty much have the same stats, I believe. I think Duskblade has a little bit, in some area, a little bit better. But Youmuu's gives you the move speed. That's always going to be better than that small little nuke that the Duskblade gives you out of invisibility or out of not being seen on your next auto attack and the movement speed slow. So yeah, very, very nice change. Moving on to Maw of Malmortius. Now this item is gonna be cracked, completely cracked out, okay? Katarina, Akali, Diana, Evelynn, they're getting nerfed with this item, and it's good. It's honestly very good. I think you should consider this item on a lot of champions now, because also Hexdrinker, the small component of it, is completely broken for early game against Akali, against Diana, against Evelynn, against all of these assassins, mage assassins. It is so insanely good. So yeah, it is getting a huge buff. The price is going down by 200 gold. And the magic resistance is going up by 10, from 35 to 45. So completely huge buff, just complete buff slapped onto the item. I think we will see a lot more from a lot of different positions, from a lot of different champions of this item, okay? So should be very nice. Moving on to Trinity Force, also getting a nerf. And again, Trinity Force, guys, we can all agree it is incredibly strong. Attack speed is going down from 40% to 30%. That's going to bring it much more in line. It's still going to be ridiculously strong, but yeah, well-deserved nerf. I think most of the champions that go for it anyway, like a lot of these junglers, a lot of these Baron laners, they might still want to go for it. But again, with this 10% attack speed nerf, someone like Darius, who can benefit from Trinity Force a lot, but also from Black Cleaver a lot, might want to skip the Trinity Force now and just instead go for a Black Cleaver since that item got buffed. So yeah, we'll see how this turns out. Again, don't worry if you play a champion that uses Trinity Force a lot. It's still going to be very, very solid on stuff like Jax, on stuff like maybe stuff like Vi in the jungle. In solo queue, you guys know I like to go Trinity Force, and most Vi's like to go Trinity Force. What else goes for a Trinity Force? And of course, Camille, Irelia is already a nerf to Irelia, but again, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. Moving on to the new runes. Now, again, I actually made a video already about this. I already put it top right in the card. Into the corner of this video. You can just check it out. You can just click there. I went through all the runes very in depth. Now, we didn't have all of these numbers, I believe. So we'll go over some of these numbers. But again, they're not really showing us numbers of all of them in detail. Like, look at this Phase Rush. I said in my previous video that I would like to know how much attack speed it gives you. But again, it doesn't really tell it. It just says 3 seconds grants a large burst of movement speed and resistance to slows. It doesn't tell you how much movement speed and how much percentage resistance to slows. So yeah, I mean, resistance to slows, I guess, is complete resistance. So you shouldn't be slowed at all, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Again, here, they don't really say after taking damage from the next 3 champion attacks, deal reduced damage from the bone plating, right? So again, just check out that previous video that I made if you want an in-depth rundown, but of course the changes that weren't listed, we will go through here, which is a lot of these domination runes. First of all, Gathering Storm is getting buffed, I believe. So 2 AD or 4 AP every 2 minutes, adaptive of course. Now it's going to be 2 AD, 4 AP, 5 AD, 10 AP, 9 AD, 18 AP, etc. every 3 minutes. So you will get like a huge increase for like him. I feel like this could be good, especially for solo queue. If you're playing something like a Tristana who wants to just farm early game and then late game just come back, right? And you're already going all in on that late game playstyle. So if you take Brutal or Champion, sure, it's going to help you early game, but it's not going to make you carry early game, right? You just want to farm. But this now late game is going to give you so much bonus stats, especially if the game goes to very late, that you might just be able to completely 1v9. So I like this change. I think Gathering Storm will be a lot more viable from now on. Then domination champion is getting nerfed from 10 to 8% total, and whenever you die, you still lose half of it, so 4% instead of 5%. So you still need 2 deaths to lose the complete rune. Very nice, still gonna be decent, still gonna be strong, but 10 to 8%, I think that's a lot more reasonable. I think now you will actually just pick it on champions that want to play safe. So something like a Ziggs maybe still, something like a Xin maybe, but again, on these champions, Gathering Storm is in the same row, so you have to pick one of these. So I feel like maybe Gathering Storm, if it is really, really good mathematically, then Gathering Storm will just take the cake. If not, you will still go for champion on stuff like, again, Ziggs, Xin, safe marksman, like Saya, but you won't go for it anymore on stuff like Akali, which I do. I always die, but I don't care because I have it for 5 minutes and I deal so much damage these first 5 minutes that it's just still worth, right? Because you snowball with it. So even if you lose it in the mid game, the damage is done already. You won, right? So yeah, that's gonna be very, very reasonable now. Moving on to Font of Life. So we already checked that out as well in that previous video. Then conditioning. I believe we already touched upon this as well. Every 2 minutes after this, gain 2 bonus armor and magic resistance as well. So they're changing that. They're going to make that a lot more viable. We went over the Sweet Tooth change. We went over the Mastermind change in detail as well. And we went over all of these removals like Kleptomancy as well. I actually tried to play Kleptomancy today on Ezreal, and I'm glad it's getting removed. I kept getting Righteous Glory on a marksman. Come on, man. Give me that Blade of the Ruined King. Give me that Static Shift. But no, man. It's just a lottery. It's just gambling. So, yeah. Not a fan of these RNG mechanics. So good that they are removing it. Maybe they will work on it behind the scenes and reintroduce it later on, hopefully, because it's honestly pretty fun. But yeah, it's too random. What I would honestly see and could work is that if you're a marksman, it will only give you marksman abilities on the Kleptomancy. So it will only give you Blade of the Ruined King. It will only give you Static Shift, Rapid Fire Cannon, stuff like that. Right? Trinity Force, stuff like that. I know Rapid Fire Cannon and Trinity Force and Gunblade and Lich Bane and stuff are not in the rotation for Kleptomancy, which I don't really understand why they should be, but anyway, maybe they would be too broken, but yeah. So I think that's already gonna be it. This is some extra bits. Champion bounties are now displayed on the scoreboard. Ally item cooldowns are now displayed on the scoreboard. That's really good. Item cooldowns. Okay, so you'll see Sonya's and stuff. In ranked, the scoreboard is automatically sorted based on positions selected. So from now on, you will see the mid laner mid like on the scoreboard, right? So that's going to be pretty comfortable now. I know a lot of people actually change this manually before each game. That's going to be pretty good for when you check the enemy items. You will be able to see the mid lane is always going to be in the middle of the scoreboard. So that's going to be, again, nice little change. Improve the lane guidance UI in ranked. Yeah, just a lot of small little changes, but nothing too important other than that, right? Optimize runtime memory for low-end devices, very nice. Improved loading time into game. Yeah, just a lot of quality of life stuff. Gonna be good. Gonna be good. Other than that, the turret is under attack. Yeah. Just okay. Look, they made a joke, man. Right? Why are you such boomers? I'm recording this for like 1.5 hours or something now. I don't even know how much. I don't see the time. Bro, you're gonna make me lose my mind. Look, I was trying to read this and see if this is actually good, but they're trolling me. They're trolling me. You're already trolling me so much with your losers queue, you degenerate company. The turret is under attack announcement will not be played as frequently if the same turret is being attacked. That's good, okay? But then they write it again to make a joke because the announcement was getting, announced too often before the patch. So they write it again to make that joke. And then the turret is announced. Just kidding. Oh, really, Riot? You're kidding. Cool, man. Thank you for telling me. Jesus Christ, man. These boomers, bro. Please, hire me. I'll put some feed jokes in here. I'll nerf Kai'Sa. Bro, just hire me, man. Just hire me. I'll do it for free. I'll do it for free, man. Because, ay, man. You guys probably do it for free as well. Because what is this joke, man? Hire a comedian. Anyway, guys. I think that's gonna be it. That is crazy. I don't know how long this took. I'm sorry, but we went super in-depth. I think it was a good video. I think you guys will enjoy this. Let me know what you guys think about this huge new patch that is coming. Probably the biggest update ever, right? We have a lot of item changes. We have a lot of champion changes. We have a lot of big champion changes, right? Like Fizz going jungle potentially. Xin Zhao completely reworked, man. Lots of rune changes, which, I mean, just Phase Rush is gonna make so many champions more viable, like Graves, right? Black Cleaver buff as well for Graves. Man, it's gonna be so sick. And then what else do we have? Lots of good nerfs as well on the items. Then we have like a Diana nerf actually. We have a Wukong being, honestly, that's a mini rework. That's a pretty big, like in terms of gameplay, this is gonna change so much, right? With this Q cooldown being lowered by auto attacks and stuff, and the tanky gameplay with his 10% bonus HP heal, gonna be sick, man. They changed so many things. Renekton, huge buff. Yeah, Kha'Zix, oh man, it's gonna be sick, guys. They nerfed my boy Gragas, but that's okay. They nerfed my not boy Garen. I hate him. He's not my boy. He will never be my boy. But yeah. Anyway, guys, with that being said, we are pretty much done. They nerfed Akali, true. We are pretty much done with this. Let me know what you guys think. Let's leave at the waifu screen. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, ring the notification bell, and leave an algorithmic comment down below. It really does support the channel. Every single like and comment that you post supports the channel a lot. If you even browse the comment section a little bit, it supports the channel because YouTube sees that you're spending time on my video. So they're like, ooh, that was good content, because they didn't just click and instantly leave. They actually watched it. They actually interacted with it. So that is always very nice. That is a signal for YouTube to, you know, to ring the alarms and send it out to more people in the algorithm. So I get more views, so I get more money, so I can buy more dirhams. I love myself some dirhams, guys, okay? With that being said, I'll see you guys the next time. Peace.